The summary, on November 1st, I began researching different options that would better the school, especially the aviation program. Gateway has seen an increase of 92% of their enrollment numbers. There are currently 25 students. As of last semester, we had 13, 3 of which graduated. So we have seen almost double the amount of students that we used to have. We still have 3 aircraft. We have 2 Cessna 172s and 1 Piper Seminole used for multi-engine training. The 2 Cessna 172s are used primarily for your private ground school, your instrument ground school, and your commercial. The multi-engine is used in your multi-engine course as well as your commercial course. So the issue we have is that there are too many students and not enough aircraft. In the same sense, we also don't have enough instructors. So what I set out to do was to research options that would benefit Gateway in the future. And 2 of the scenarios that I selected was that either Gateway purchase another aircraft or Gateway employs another instructor. So with that being said, I researched different costs and benefits of purchasing another aircraft and the costs and benefits of employing another instructor. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the benefits first thing I'm going to go over is the benefits of the purchasing another aircraft. The primary benefits of purchasing a Cessna 182, or rather, I'll correct that, leasing a Cessna 182, would be that students would be eligible to receive another rating. Students would be able to fly more per week and actually get them to finish their courses on time. And that hasn't been the case. I did some research and asked a bunch of students how many hours per week they were flying on average. And currently, students are flying at a rate of 1.98 hours per week. Um, 1.98 hours per week does not complete the course by the end of the semester, as it should. Last semester, I myself was flying at 2.14 hours per week on average. And that was considered slow. In order to complete the courses on time, every student should be flying at approximately 3.44 hours per week, 3.5 hours a week, in order to complete their courses on time. So by buying another aircraft, this would allow students to be able to increase the amount of time they fly, and then ultimately possibly get finished with their courses on time. The other, one last example would be that purchasing another aircraft would give Gateway a competitive edge on the market. They would eventually, students would look more to Gateway because they would receive more ratings than other schools. Now let's go over the costs of purchasing another aircraft. I was able to calculate, look at hangar fees for some of the hangars available on our current airport, Kenosha Regional, and I found a hangar that's for sale for $54,000. for the first year, if we divided that amongst 12, for the first year, it would cost us $4,500 a month for 12 months, for a total cost of $54,000. Fuel, if students were managed to fly 3.5 hours per week, and it was being flown 21 hours per week by 9 different students, fuel will cost $3,402, because this is estimating that fuel runs about $4.50 for 100 low lead. The leasing, I found an online store that leases aircraft, and their fee was $729 a month to lease a Cessna 182, in good condition too. And then the maintenance costs, this is including parts and overhauls and things that tend to happen. I calculated a number of $648. For the first year, the total cost of leasing a Cessna 182 came out to $111,348. From what I understand, Gateway has a budget for approximately $150,000, so that would put us under budget by $36,000. At the total cost thereafter, would be the additional costs that Gateway would incur for every year, would be another $57,000. Pause it. Hello. So now we're going to go over the benefits of employing another certified flight instructor. This certified flight instructor would need to have experience in the aircraft. Some of the criteria that this flight instructor should fit would include he would have to be full-time, must possess a CFI, a CFI-I, and an MEI. Must have at least 2,000 hours of flight time, and will participate in instructing ground schools that go with the degree program. And must be in good standing with the Federal Aviation Administration, to include having all current and proper paperwork up to date. So those are the criteria. Now, the benefits of employing an instructor like this would include that there would be a lower instructor to student ratio, or student to instructor ratio. Currently, it is approximately 8 to 1. By hiring another instructor, each student would receive more one-on-one time, helping to improve the quality of the education they're receiving. And according to 14 CFR Part 61-195, a certified flight instructor is only allowed to conduct 8 hours of instruction, flight training in any 24-hour period. Given that all flight instructors follow this rule, each student can only spend 1 hour in the plane per day with their instructor. By hiring another full-time instructor, the student to instructor ratio will be reduced to 6 to 1, 6 students per instructor, bringing up the amount of flight time the instructor can spend with each student per week, or by 20 minutes. The school could also consider removing the limitations of 18 hours or less per week on the 2 adjunct flight instructors. Now, the other positive thing that would occur with hiring another full-time CFI would include that the fact that they would be able to help instruct ground courses, relieving our chief flight instructor of some of his obligations and responsibilities. increase the pool of knowledge that our instructors have. So that right there is a big positive. Now, according to an online website I found called payscale.com, they said the average national pay for a CFI is approximately $67,000. But I believe that after discussing with my chief flight instructor, that they could hire a qualified, very good CFI for approximately $65,000 a year, full time. And a benefits package should be about 24% of their actual salary, and that would cover things like a 401k plan, dental, health, uniforms, any kind of other related costs. That would help cover them, and insurance. And so I came up with a total of approximately $84,000 a year. That would be less expensive than purchasing another aircraft for the first year, but after that, I think that either one of these options is a very viable option for Gateway. This might be more expensive for the first year, but then after that, it drops down. So, with that being said, it is my recommendation that Gateway seriously consider interviewing certified flight instructors so that we can hire somebody that's able to fly with these students. Because we can have all the planes in the world, but without CFIs, well, those planes just sit there. So it is my recommendation that Gateway hire another instructor. Is there any questions?
What was your reasoning behind a 182?
My reasoning behind leasing a Cessna 182 was so that students would be able to also be able to get a high performance rating from the FAA, along with, so they would receive more education, as well as it's a semi-inexpensive aircraft. It's a little more expensive than the Cessna 172 to operate, but I think that's something that's detrimental to the program. If we were to purchase another aircraft, we need to offer something more to students so that Gateway can be more competitive on the market. Any other questions?
Is there any way you could reduce the costs? If not, is this the lowest that you found?
This is the lowest that I can possibly find. I mean, you could go with a smaller hangar. Currently, this hangar I found from Kenosha Regional Airport's hangar space availability. It's a flyer that they have out for hangars that are available. They have hangars that are way more expensive than this, but they also have some that are a little smaller. Now this is a 45-foot in height T hangar, and that's, I mean, I think that's the only thing we can cut in costs. Maintenance is required. There's nothing else that we could possibly. I mean, you could go with an older Cessna 182. That's another option. But I think that this is probably pretty accurate for what we would need.
Is that salary, the base of that salary, is that for this part of the country? I know it's different in different parts of the country depending on cost of living.
Actually, yes, that is pretty accurate to our part of the country. The national average that I found on other websites, including Glassdoor.com, they said a CFI's average pay was $34,000 a year. I mean, I don't know how he's going to eat on that, but you know, they definitely. This is within our area, so it's within the greater Chicago region. I think that's a decent salary, considering what we're looking for. So, any other questions? You, Mark? Any
Nope,
questions?
thank you. We're good.
All right, thanks. Thanks for coming, everybody.